What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Well, I just literally got done doing this email with an individual. I'm going to leave his name out because even I wanted his name said on camera. But he's actually he's a physician that happens to be a radiologist. He images patients all the time who have site injected or used products like SYNTHOL. Okay, now he saw my video about SYNTHOL and how it does not cause long-term muscle growth. Okay, and he said what happens most of the time, the oil is absorbed. That cavity is partially replaced by fibrous tissue. It's non-contractile tissue and can lead to significant issues over time. Now, my next thing was, as soon as I read that, I was like, fibrous tissue. That's what I have in both of my delts. Fine. My next thing was, well, what kind of issues? So he responds. He says, depends on where it is and what issues are involved, what tissues are involved. Fibrosis or fibrotic, I guess. Tissue deeper than the muscle, you mostly be more prone to muscle strains. This could be a reason why I do have, injuries that actually creep up on me really fast and happen like quite often. I have like a strain in my bicep, a strain in my shoulder, strains in my pecs because you have, the different tissues pulling different ways, which tightens everything. It absolutely could be the cause of that. It could be why I tore the pec to begin with because of or I tore the rotator cuff and the bicep tendon itself because of the fibrous tissue that are in my delts and my arms. I don't have much on my arms because I didn't use a lot of the stuff in my arms, but like you can feel like little, not so much my biceps, but really it's in my shoulders. When I had really inflated them with the SYNTHOL at the time. It said the fibrotic tissue around the myotoendinous junction, there's a good chance that the tendon is also involved and could predispose to tendon ruptures. He said he saw a patient last year who had a ton of fibrous tissue deep in his delts. It was very close to a super attachment, and on his greater tuberosity, I'm not really sure what that is, and the super attachment looked terrible on that side. His other shoulder super looked good, looked out, and the fibrous tissue was further away. Likely differences in injection and depth. Fast forward a few months, and he tore the super clean off. He said there are a few of the issues having messed up tissues that compromise vascular supply. Those tissues are get very infected. In the future, it's like pre-damaged tissue, and capillaries are all fucked up and cannot mount in good response, and you're more likely to allow the infection to spread quicker. Mentioned not being able to extend my bicep, and he said, yeah, this is probably why. The tendon sheath can also cause future issues. He said you also have the issue of future diagnostic problem. Now, on an MRI, you don't know if it looks like a fibrous connective tissue or a type of cancer, or you can get myositis ossifications, which has a difference. It will lead to additional tests to rule it out. I can generally do that with a post-con MRI, but a few patients have been biopsied, and it looks bad when you do it, and the pathologists think it's cancer when it's not. He says there's a lot of things to consider when using site enhancement oils. If using larger muscles away from the tendon, so I'm assuming like pecs, quads, lats, stuff like that. Nerves, with not too much volume, yeah, it's not that risky. Will likely not cause too many issues, but large volumes and things like your arms and tendons, guys are much more prone to having issues with that. Now, I think most guys will be using it in their arms, delts, etc., etc. And, this is a guy that literally that's what he does for a living. He sees people that have used SYNTHOL for a while, because SYNTHOL's been around for, so it was probably 2000 or 2001. So about 15 years it's literally been around, and people have been using it kind of openly. After Manfred Hoberl was one of the first guys using it. He was around before Greg Kovacs was even around. He was putting that stuff in his arms. Chris Clark, actually, who invented pump and post, SYNTHOL, was the one who was actually giving it to Manfred. He was in pictures and shit with him and stuff, and he was like, my arms grew, and he basically just shot the fuck out of his arms until they blew up to like 26 inches. He was a really big dude. But, so 15 years, and now, I'm not necessarily, I guess I'm having issues, I mean, it's not super bad, but it could, and it would have been a lot worse if I continued to use that shit over and over again and cause more scar tissue, which obviously, at 40 years old, I don't want scar tissue. Not like that. It's already fucking fucked up. Like, I don't want any more than I have. But, this is those guys out there who are like, yeah, I'm just going to do SYNTHOL and blow my arms up. I'm going to SYNTHOL and blow my shoulders up. That you're the young guys out there, and you're going to follow the fucking protocol and fill that body pot up with oil and look like fucking, all swole the fuck up now. Guys, trust me, I'm telling you this from experience. I'm telling you this from the heart. I'm telling you this as a friend that you don't know and we've never met, okay? I don't know why the fuck I feel like that, but I do. Phil Hernan was the one that first started me thinking like this. because Phil's older than I am. And Phil went through being a pro bodybuilder. He was one of those guys that came out of nowhere, trained differently than everybody else. And we all looked up to him, like where we were from. And he started going, in the future, you're going to have issues. Like Phil told me that he had kidney damage. He's going to be okay, but he had kidney damage. He had high blood pressure. He had all these issues that when he was younger really didn't fucking matter. And as you get a little bit older, you realize carrying the extra mass, putting the SYNTHOL in your body parts, having high blood pressure, which now I realize is a really fucking bad thing. It's a bad thing, but now I'm realizing what it can really be detrimental health-wise to you. And eating certain ways, all the fucking junk food that you're eating with the chemicals and shit. Like, I'm telling you guys, this shit when you're older catches up to you. And now I have to train a certain way, which I'm not going to say I'm not happy about, but it's not what I would necessarily be like to be doing. I would love to go in the gym and bench 400 pounds again. That would be the fucking best thing ever. I always had the biggest rush, the biggest, you bench press 405 for the first time. I guarantee you the rest of that day and all the next day you feel like fucking Superman. You're on cloud 9. You hit the 4 wheels club on that fucking bar. That would be something that I might be doing right now if I hadn't fucked myself up by doing things like putting a bunch of SYNTHOL and causing a bunch of scar tissue and fucking benching without warming up and shit and fucking just doing the dumb shit that I did. So I want to thank this guy. Like I said, I don't know if he wants his name on here, but you know who you are because you watch the videos and you'll probably see this. But thank you for sending me this information because a lot of people don't talk about it. They just talk about using it. Like, oh, use it. Yeah, no big deal. All the pros use it and shit. Well, some of these pros have had kidney transplants that I didn't even know about. There's a few people that I know that had kidney transplants that I didn't even know they had them because of their fucking high blood pressure from the steroid use, having the high body weights, as they get a little bit older and stuff. There's, people that I know have had to have surgeries to get fucking glues and fillers out of their muscle from different gear that wasn't clean. People have torn fucking muscles. I can't tell you how many people, pro-wise, have actually died from fucking their bodies up, in random ways. And it's usually a kidney-related thing, too. Liver's fine, but it's usually the kidneys. But none of this shit people really talk about. It's just something that I think, you shouldn't be scared of. Don't be scared of the things I'm talking about, but you should be aware of it. Somebody should at least make you aware that these are possibilities. When I was younger, it was like, when you get older, you'll be fine. Just take your fucking steroids, do whatever. And as those guys got older and started to have problems, again, one of my friends had a kidney transplant. His cousin was a match, and luckily he's alive. But he's on these anti-rejection drugs that can cause cancer. So there's a possibility he could have cancer at any time. He's kind of on borrowed time right now. And, I kind of look back and I'm like, these were the guys that I was listening to and they were saying nothing is going to happen. Well, things were happening. So don't be scared, but be aware. And hopefully this will give some of you guys something to think about. BioStraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostraining.com is a blog. It's a thing to think about, bicep, and we're out.